In today's episode of the Membership Geeks podcast, we're going to share with you how you can build a membership website in under a day. Sounds crazy, right? Don't think it can be done? Just you wait.
You're listening to the Membership Geeks podcast, bringing you proven practical tips and advice from the leading experts on growing a successful membership business each and every week. And now here are your hosts, Mike Morrison and Callie Willows.
Well, hello there. You're listening to episode 348 of the Membership Geeks podcast. I'm Mike Morrison, one half of the Membership Geeks, alongside the one and only Callie Willows.
Hey there.
I like that's all you get to say during the intro. Do you want to just...
I can introduce myself?
Yeah, do you just want to talk about, your day, your life? Just have a bit of a chat. Let's just scrap today's podcast subject. Let's just have a natter. Let's see what Callie's got to say.
I don't think it'd be very interesting, to be honest with you.
No, it wouldn't be.
It'd only be about memberships anyway, so,
yeah, actually,
well.
Just miscellaneous membership ranting. All right, today, though, we do have a little bit more of a purpose. We do have a little bit more of a guided topic, and that is about how to build a membership site in kind of record time, how to get a membership up and running in under a day. Now, that sounds like a bit of a clickbaity title, in honesty, because it sounds unrealistic, right?
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like something that everybody wants, but nobody can do.
Yeah, exactly. We know that memberships and building a membership is a sizable undertaking. You've got to wrestle with technology. You've got to create content. You also need to build your audience, in a lot of cases, before you do any of the tech or content stuff, and then generate buzz to ensure you have a successful launch. There's a lot of plates to spin, a lot of ducks to get in a row. However, if you're already able to bring some of those elements to the table from day one, so if you already have an established audience who are eager to buy from you, that maybe done business with you before, or if you've already got some content from past projects, like you've already released courses or done training workshops, then it is entirely feasible to build a membership website a heck of a lot quicker than you might think, and a heck of a lot quicker than most of the people are able. Now, realistically, if we're just talking about the website itself, the mechanism, the machine, you can have a fully functional membership website up, running, and ready to take members in less than 24 hours.
That does sound pretty impressive when you put it like that. But
pretty unrealistic as well, right?
Yeah, it does. But let's just say that this is definitely an approach that will work better for some people than others. So ideally, to make this work and get your membership up in under a day, you'll already have an existing audience who are engaged, who are ready to buy, and who've decided that a membership is a great way to serve them. Perhaps you've also already got content created, as Mike already mentioned. You might have online courses, worksheets, you might have previous webinars, and you want to build a membership as a way of bringing all of that existing content together. Maybe your membership is going to be heavily community-based, either without any premium content to speak of, or where that content is positioned as an occasional extra bonus rather than the main draw, or maybe you're delivering it all live. Or perhaps your membership will supplement a coaching program, client work, or some other form of services where it will, at least initially, be offered as a free value add for your paying clients. You don't need to tick all of these boxes, but if you fit into any of those categories, you'll certainly find it easier to get up and running in record speed with your membership.
Absolutely. Now, if you're going to do this, first of all, you need to make sure that your expectations are realistic. Let's not beat around the bush. Chances are that a membership site that is set up in just a day is not going to be at the same standard as one that's had more time and attention given to it. So you need to make sure that you're being realistic with yourself about the end result. No, it's not going to look as amazing as that one membership site that you absolutely love, that's been running for years, that has an amazing design that people slaved over for months and months and months. No, you're not going to have time for all of those really specific, really fancy bells and whistles that are on your wish list that you really want in terms of features and functionality, but don't necessarily need. We are shooting for good enough. So you have to accept that it won't be everything you want it to be initially. However, the best memberships are always evolving, a constant work in progress. So the good news is that you can iterate and improve that membership site as time goes on. Manage your expectations, commit to imperfection, and the process of getting your membership site up in under a day will be a much smoother one.
And the key is to definitely keep the technology basic. The key to moving quickly when you build a membership site is to keep things simple. Without question, one of the main things that slows down the development process of your membership website is trying to wrestle with code, plugins, and all of that nonsense in order to make them perform some sort of very specific function that they're not necessarily designed to do. We see that far more frequently than you would expect. Within the Membership Academy, we have courses for each of the most popular WordPress membership plugins where we do a step-by-step walkthrough from installing the plugin to being ready to open the doors to your membership site. Now, these courses are typically no longer than 90 minutes, and we don't skip anything. In fact, we take longer because we're actually explaining what we're doing as we go. So just 90 minutes from installation to launch. Now, of course, we've been doing this a while, so we may be more comfortable with tech than you are. So let's assume it takes you twice as long. That's still only 3 hours to build a membership site and have it ready on the technical front for you to start taking on paying members. That's really no time at all. If you're using WordPress, then you're spoiled for choice when it comes to membership plugins. And if you're having a hard time choosing them, you can download our membership plugin comparison chart to make quick work of figuring out which to use. When it comes to the look and feel of your site, then again, you need to keep things simple. The easiest thing in the world would be to just stick with one of the default themes that comes with WordPress. You can easily customize this with your logo, and it'll be a lot easier to switch to a more attractive theme later. Or you can go with an all-in-one platform and get up and running quickly and easily without having to worry about plugins, themes, and all of that jazz.
Absolutely. Now, there's always pros and cons to consider with using a platform like that versus using something like WordPress. Just keep in mind, if you do go down the route of using an all-in-one platform like Kajabi, like Podia, like Simplero, it's not something where you're going to be very easily able to just take everything you built there and quickly switch it over to a WordPress site later on. So having a little bit of clarity about where you want your membership to be long-term will really help with this. WordPress and membership plugins, they are definitely the route that takes that little bit longer. But as Callie said, we're talking 90 minutes, a few hours if you want to go a little extra slow and double check everything as you go along. To have a functioning membership website that is capable of taking payments, of giving access to members, that really is no time at all, even going down the slower route of using something like WordPress versus using an all-in-one platform like Kajabi where you can be up and running in minutes. The next thing that's going to be critical to getting your membership up and running quickly is making sure that you stick to the absolute essentials. As long as people can register, pay, and log in, and then once logged in, they can access protected content, that's a membership site. That is a fully functioning, working membership site. If you're looking to build a membership and get it up and running in under a day, you really don't need much more than that. You might think you do, but you don't. And while we are, as we said, fans of using WordPress for your membership, using an all-in-one platform like Kajabi Simplero keeps things even simpler and actually will probably give you a few of those extra bells and whistles that would otherwise take you a while to build yourself if you were going down the WordPress route. But foregoing the added non-essentials is going to get you so much further, so much faster.
Yeah, and it can also be worthwhile rethinking your content and community plan. Of course, starting a membership website isn't just about getting the tech in place. Most memberships offer 2 core elements, content and community. The community side is easy enough. As much as we're not huge fans of using Facebook groups for paid memberships, when the clock is ticking, I will let you escape from Mike's soapbox rant and let you know that using a Facebook group will be absolutely one of the quickest ways to get the community started for your membership. Just promise us that you'll make plans to move to an on-site option later. Or if Facebook isn't for you, Circle is a great option that can be used either standalone or integrated with your membership site. So your community can be set up quickly and easily. But when it comes to your content, it's a lot harder to simply click a few buttons and have an amazing course or library of tutorials, downloads, or other awesome resources at your disposal. So how do you create enough content to make your membership a worthwhile investment when you've only got 24 hours to work with? Well, the answer is you don't.
Yep, that's right. We're not going to create any content up front. Instead, we're going to create a calendar of upcoming live webinars that will only be available to paying members. This way, rather than you having to spend weeks or even months creating content in advance of your launch, you simply create it in real time. The beauty of this, aside from eliminating, without doubt, one of the biggest pre-launch tasks, is that people are also a little more forgiving of a live training session being a bit rougher around the edges, a little less polished than they would expect of a pre-recorded course. So you're not needing to stress over editing, over faffing and fussing over every little stylistic element, getting absolutely everything perfect. You still get to deliver the substance, you still get to deliver the value, but without a fraction of the work, and you're not needing to do all of this content creation up front. It's not there as something that could push back your launch. And of course, every time you do a live training session, that session will be recorded and then added into a training library or archive. So all these live sessions, you're creating permanent value for both existing members and for new ones. Think about it this way. If you were creating this material up front, if you were creating courses before you launched, there will be a point where you're sitting down at your desk, recording material, delivering material, and recording that. You're still doing the same thing. The only difference is you have a live audience who are already in your membership. Now, if you're embracing this live approach to getting your membership up and running, you want to make sure that there is a training webinar scheduled within the first week of your membership opening. And maybe even making sure you've got it locked in and booked in for the second and the third week too, so that those people who join when you first open the doors, they're not sitting twiddling their thumbs with nothing to do. They're not wondering, well, hang on, I've just joined this membership and there's literally nothing going to be given to me until this call that's happening in 2 months' time. You want to make sure you're hitting the ground running with your first live session happening in the week of your launch. We also find that regular live Q&A sessions are often some of the most popular and most valuable elements of a lot of successful memberships, and these require practically no work up front. So you can combine these, you can add these into the mix alongside your more substantial, more training-focused webinars, and then add in your Facebook community too, and suddenly we have the making of a pretty solid offering to your members with next to no effort required on the content creation front before you launch.
And I feel like I'm maybe a kind of bang the drum about this a lot, but so much of the success with this approach is setting your members' expectations when they join.
Yeah.
So don't promise them an all singing, all dancing training library if you know that you're going to be creating that content live. Make sure that if you're taking this approach, the people joining your membership know.
Yeah, and they're going to be fine with it if you set those expectations and you are delivering training to them.
Yeah.
If you've got that calendar so that they can come into the membership, they can see, okay, for the next however many weeks, these are the topics, these are the times, the recordings will be made available. They're going to be happy, especially if you've also got Q&As, you've also got a private member community where all that great stuff can happen. Your membership actually is going to be pretty substantial and valuable to them, even though you're creating this content, you're creating that value in real time.
Yeah, and make the most of what you already have as well. So many of you listening will have already created other online products in the past that you could consider adding into your membership too. So not only does this make good use of your existing assets without adding to your workload, it gives your new members that added bonus content as well. You can even do this with your lead magnets, video series, anything you've had freely available for people opting into your email list. Even though this is stuff non-members can get if they opt into each and every one of your landing pages, the convenience of providing it all in one location has value and adds an extra element to your membership.
Definitely. That's something people don't realize as membership owners has value. The convenience factor. So even if you've never created paid products before that you could bundle into your membership as extra bonus content, anything that you're using to entice people onto your email list, any ebooks that you've written, even if you've given them away for free, having them all in one location, just that alone, that convenience there, has value. And actually, a lot of people won't have downloaded those previously. It doesn't matter if these aren't things that you've previously only made available to people who are paying. It just adds a little extra string to the bow. Now, another key thing that you'll also want to make sure you do is tell your audience as early as possible. So even if you are in a position where you have some of the scenarios we talked about at the top of the episode that are going to make it feasible for you to build your membership in just a day, I'm guessing we're not talking about today, right? I'm guessing you didn't just wake up this morning and decide, today I'm building my entire membership business. You might be thinking, well, you might have.
I was going to say, you might have. I've heard stranger things.
Yeah, Callie shrugging. You might have, in which case, hey, all power to you. Now, as soon as you've decided that you're going to build a membership, start talking about it. Start telling your audience what's coming. Maybe even get a quick waiting list page set up, or email your list directly if you've already got your email and you've already got subscribers. Email them and get them to reply to you to tell them if you're interested, to capture their interest. It's easy to make assumptions about how excited your audience will be about your latest project, and while cramming all of what we're talking about into 24 hours is certainly shortcutting the usual levels of time, effort, and resources that building a membership involves, you still don't want to get through that and spend that intensive day to then discover it was all a waste and your audience just aren't interested. So talking about it early is going to help you gauge interest levels, and it's going to set the scene and whet the appetite for when you do launch your newly built membership. If you're already working with clients one-on-one, or you've been running some sort of group program, maybe you've been selling standalone courses that you're now going to put in your membership, then you may look to get those people, your clients, your course students, into your new website as seed members. Depending on your relationship with them, you might even decide to let them in for free, or to let them in grandfathered at a heavy discount. Talk to these people early, tell them what's coming, and consider whether they are people you're going to want to seed your community with, have as your founding members, because those initial members, having those on board from the get-go, they'll go a long way to helping you quickly build momentum in your community once you do open the doors. So talking about it early, letting your audience know what's coming, and thinking about whether there's anyone you're currently working with, anyone who's bought from you before, who you might get into your community, get into your membership from day one, minute one, it's going to go a long way.
And something else that might save your bacon is to actually hire an emergency techie. Now, if you want to build a membership site in under a day, you haven't got time to bang your head on the desk trying to deal with tech bugs, and you definitely don't have time to try and find a developer to help you on short notice. If you're working to such a tight time frame, we definitely recommend pre-booking someone to help you on the tech front if anything goes wrong, paying them to clear their diary for a set period of the day on which you'll be working. Murphy's Law dictates that if you do hire backup, you won't need it. But the ability to call on someone at the drop of a hat will be a difference maker if something does go wrong.
Absolutely. Having that emergency button, even if you're just paying someone to sit and do nothing and just be available, that can be such a lifesaver if things do go wrong. It's an insurance policy.
Yeah, it is. And actually, this is something a lot of our Academy members use the community for when they're building their sites. They actually use the Tech Talk section in the Academy community to be that techie help for them. And that's what we're there for.
Absolutely. And so if everything goes right, there's no major tech emergencies. And if there are, you've got your emergency techie there. You've told your audience about it. You've kept things super simple, including your content strategy, and you've launched, you're going to want to make a lot of noise. Now, this is a given for any newly launched membership, but it goes doubly for one that's been bootstrapped in just 24 hours. If you already have a rabid audience, then obviously that's going to help you. But even then, you need to galvanize that audience to spread the word and help you make a lot of noise about the opening of your new membership site. You don't have time to wait for the slow burn of content marketing or to build out lengthy, complex sales funnels. You need a quick way of getting in front of as many people as possible. Now, live video is a fantastic way of doing this through things like Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Not only does it enable you to reach a large audience, but it can also be used to give your launch more of an event feel. Broadcasting a countdown to the doors opening, streaming as you pop the cork on a bottle of champagne, and then excitedly name check every new person who joins your community. Again, it's scrappy, it's live, it's real, it's going to get attention, and it's going to make some noise. If you have a budget to work with, then also consider scheduling a Facebook ads campaign for your launch day too. Creating custom audiences from people who've already opted into your mailing list or liked your Facebook page. Again, just to reach as many people as possible, make them as aware as possible, and get them on board and excited about the launch of your new membership.
So you've launched, and now you need to have a plan for day 3 and beyond. So day 1 you build, day 2 you launch. Now what? Ideally, you'll already have an idea of what you want your membership to ultimately become. So when you have your site up and running and you've recruited your first members, then you should start focusing on the next steps. Involve your members in this, encourage them to give feedback, find out what they actually want to see, what would make this membership the ideal place for them. Your best ideas will come from your existing member base. They're the ones who will shape the direction of your site. But you do want to have a plan in place as well.
Absolutely. We're talking about getting your website up and running in a day. We're not talking about doing everything you're ever going to need to do for your membership in a day.
No.
You need to know what comes next. The launch of your membership is just the beginning. It is just the start of what will hopefully be a long and successful journey. And so having that day 2, day 3, week 2, week 3, month 2, month 3 and beyond, having that plan in place and having that long-term view, even if you are bootstrapping and even if you are trying to get up and running in record time, it's critical to your long-term success. Now, whatever the reason you have for needing or wanting to build your membership site in just a day, it's important to recognize that this approach shouldn't inform the remainder of your time as a membership owner. It shouldn't become the norm as your membership grows. This isn't about helping you find a shortcut or be lazy about always taking the easiest path. That mentality won't serve you well long term. Instead, the reason we've created this episode is to help you execute quickly and build a membership in rapid time rather than going in the other direction and allowing the process to drag on for months and months and months and risk losing momentum or missing opportunities. So even if you don't plan to build your membership quite as quickly as we've talked about today, then hopefully you can apply various aspects of the approach we've discussed in order to greatly accelerate your project.
Happy building.
Yes, happy building. Let us know how it goes. Hit us up on social. We are everywhere at Membership Geeks. We would love to hear from you. And we particularly love to hear from anyone who actually sits down and says, you know what? I'm going to put this to the test. 24 hours, clock starts. Let's get this membership going. I'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on social. Give us a shout in our free Facebook group over at talkmemberships.com. Type that in. That'll redirect you to the right place. Or, of course, if you're an Academy member, then let us know inside the community where we always share the good news of new memberships launching too. That is it from us for this week. Hopefully you found today's episode useful. We'll be back again next week with another installment of the Membership Geeks podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Membership Geeks podcast, we invite you to check out membershipacademy.com. Membership Academy is the original membership about memberships, and it's the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a successful online membership business. Whether you're still trying to figure out what your idea is going to be and you need some help making it a reality, or whether your website is already up and running and you're looking for ways to grow and attract new members, then Membership Academy can help you to get to the next level. Not only do you get access to our step-by-step membership roadmap, our extensive training library, and exclusive member-only discount and tools, You'll also become part of our supportive, active community of membership owners that will help you along the way in your journey with feedback, encouragement, and advice. All of this and more make Membership Academy the #1 place to be for anyone looking to start, manage, and grow a successful membership business. Check it out and join the community at membershipacademy.com.